patronage. We will be right back with our next guest.
Because they have blonde hair, blue eyes, blonde hair, blue eyes, they got blonde hair, blue eyes, yeah, blonde hair, blue eyes, blonde hair, blue eyes, blonde hair, blue eyes, blonde hair, blue eyes, blonde hair, blue eyes. And quote unquote cool kids find out what the news is, see that something's different anyway. As soon as they talk, I notice that their walks even the whole flock and think it's okay. The girls in the movies are not always what they seem, just because they have blonde hair, blue eyes, blonde hair, blue eyes, they got blonde hair, blue eyes, yeah, blonde hair, blue eyes, blonde hair, blue eyes, blonde hair, blue eyes, blonde hair, blue eyes, blonde hair, blue eyes. Change your style, change your mood, start to cry, yeah, that's what they do. Change your face, change your mind, change your ways, yeah, all the time. Just because they have blonde hair, blue eyes, blonde hair, blue eyes, they got blonde hair, blue eyes, yeah, blonde hair, blue eyes, blonde hair, blue eyes, blonde hair, blue eyes, blonde hair, blue eyes, blonde hair, blue eyes.
Minot's only alternative radio station. We're KMSU.
Hello, and welcome back to the Inside the Dam podcast. Thank you for tuning in to this latest edition of the show. The podcast is produced by KMSU TV and Radio as part of a partnership with Minot State University Athletics. We are glad to be joined by more talented and fantastic guests reigning from all the Biever teams on campus. The Inside the Dam podcast is proudly sponsored by Papa John's. They have 2 locations in Minot and the Air Force Base. Search for Papa John's in Minot online through your device and seek out any deals that are currently available. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That is 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We thank Admir and the Papa John's crew for their tremendous patronage. We will be right back with our next guest. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Inside the Dam podcast. We are on to episode number 5 already of season 2, and it's been a journey, like I mentioned last week, and we're having tons of fun talking with all of the student athletes here in and around Minot State University campus. And by now, you guys should know the Inside the Dam podcast. We're all about getting to hear from these student athletes and some coaches on occasion to tell us their stories and how their seasons are going, so on and so forth. It is a partnership between Minot State University Athletics and the broadcasting department, KMSU TV and Radio. We got some great guests on hand for tonight, folks. Be on the lookout for a goaltender from women's hockey. We also have a men's golfer who was a junior transfer, and also a redshirt freshman from the football team playing quarterback as of late. And you'll get to know more details coming up later in the show. I'm your host, Cole Clementich. Excited to bring you guys more of the action. Before we get started, we want to remind you all about Papa John's, as they are the premier sponsor for the Inside the Dam podcast. You can hit them up on their website, search for any deals they may have going on, search Papa John's in Minot. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We thank Admir and the Papa John's crew for their tremendous patronage. Kicking us off here tonight, folks, a senior from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and getting a big dub against the Liberty University Flames this past weekend. Goaltender Haylie Biever joins us. Haylie, thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, Haylie. So let's start with that right off the jump. Liberty Flames, the defending champs, obviously, that had to have felt good when you guys beat them in overtime to get the weekend split. Just talk about that real quick.
Yeah, it was a nerve-wracking weekend. We had a lot of nerves going in, just as that was the team we lost against. We were a brand new team with losing a lot of our seniors, and we all just went in there and we were having fun, especially that second game where we actually got the W. We played as a team, and it was all for fun.
Yeah, talk about, down 2-1 and then late in the third period when you guys obviously got the game-tying goal, Paige Kozak from Riley Ball in the corner. Just talk, what was kind of going through your head with that much time left?
It was nerve-wracking, but deep down I knew we could pull it off. Like, we're a strong team, and if we work together, like, we can accomplish a lot. And I think all of us knew, like, we had that game. We pressured really hard. We were really all over them. So I think we all knew that it was going to come in our favor.
Talk about just the mosh pit of your teammates in the corner after the game winner. Just, that had to have been a really good feeling, kind of almost lifting the monkey off the back. Just tell us, to get that win against them in that type of capacity, in that type of game.
Yeah, it was nice doing it at home too, and just like as soon as that goal went in, all of us went flying down the ice, and it was just like goosebumps all down, like championship win for us, just because we had so much revenge in us that we wanted to win that game.
And moving on, given that the deep postseason run last year, talk about, moving ahead towards this season. You guys obviously getting some game time in thus far and few games under your guys' belt. What's the feeling out process like? How are you guys feeling right now? And just tell us, how do you think you're doing, personally, how you're feeling in net and how comfortable thus far through the season?
Yeah, we're obviously a different team from last year. As I said, we lost a lot of our seniors, and we have a lot of freshmen coming in. We're a really fast team, and I think that's what helps us win. Personally, start of the season, so you never got a lot of confidence and nerves to build up and get out of the way. So I feel like a lot's going to happen during the season, just working to get back into that championship mindset and feeling.
And given that, what have practices looked like, this year, came so close last year, and now, what are some things, has Coach Miner been preaching to you guys, and either Coach Smith or Coach Martell, what's been kind of the message going on around the room?
We really got to focus on our bodies and ourselves. We're doing a lot more off the ice too, and on the ice, where you have dry land, workouts, skills, goalies, just like a lot of getting our feet moving, focusing on the little things. If there's something we need to work on, that's what we do that practice. So just focusing on the little things.
That is nice, working on those details. And, talking more about, what's upcoming ahead. You guys have Lake Superior State this weekend. I don't recall ever seeing them, but, what do you guys, look forward to this upcoming weekend? 2 more home games. Actually, quite a few home games coming up here, minus a long road trip in between. But, just kind of preview us ahead of what the fans can expect maybe.
It'll be the same type of energy, but obviously we're not playing the reigning national champs. But we got to make sure that we're focusing on being the same team every single game and just focusing like that. That team is Liberty, so we can't back down or anything.
Talk about you yourself personally. You've held the reins in the cage so far. Any things that you have kind of worked on yourself? What are maybe some things that you've improved on from last season? And just talk about that a little bit.
I've been working with Coach Miner and my goalie partners, Morgan and Chloe, a lot. I think we bonded really well, so it helps. Confidence for me and always having someone to cheer you on that understands your position helps a lot. Whenever I need something on the ice, Morgan's been backing me up, but she is my number one hype woman, so I'm sure Chloe would be too, but yeah.
No, that's always a great deal to have there. The teammate support is always tremendous. And, moving away from the ice, you're one of the seniors, so obviously you're taking on one of those leadership roles for the team. But talk about, as a senior, you're just about to finish up the school year pretty soon, graduation incoming. Talk about what you've been working on, what stuff have you been learning in the classroom, what are you taking on right now, what major, and just kind of expand a little more on that.
So as a senior on the ice right now, you're playing like it's your last game. Like, you never know when it's going to be your last. And classroom, same thing. You're just trying to finish up your degree, criminal justice. So I'm going to be doing a lot more field experience, all of that. So, but it's just wrapping up everything that you've been working on for the last 4 years.
There you go. And, extending on from the classroom, we like to ask the athletes, what activities do they enjoy on campus? Obviously, MSU Life Bingo is a big one. I'm sure that's got to be a favorite of yours. Are there any others that you like to take part in?
Yeah, the MSU Life, they always hold really good events, so it's nice to be able to see other people from the school and participate in those. Just like anything to be involved within the school, just anywhere I go, yeah.
Talk about, your transition. Obviously, that was so long ago, but coming from Canada to the U.S., talk about, what was your first impression of Minot and first time getting into the new Mesa rink? What were your thoughts originally?
I didn't think it was going to be that different. There's obviously some differences, but it was hard to adjust, especially with being Canadian, yeah. The Mesa, it's beautiful. I've never played in a rink like that, so I honestly feel like I'm playing in like an NHL rink half the time because it's an awesome facility. The employees there, they take such good care of it. So,
no, that is awesome. Shout out to all the Mesa staff out there. And, quite frankly, if you ask me, it kind of gives off a mini Ralph Engelstead Arena vibe to it. So the UND Fighting Hawks, they have a big matchup this weekend against number 1 Minnesota. So that'll be nice and fun there. But off topic here, Haylie, before we let you go here, are there anything anything else you want to mention to the fans, or what are some hopes, some goals you have, post school and post hockey career? What do you look forward to most?
It's a good question. I'm like at the end of the season, hope to win national championship. After that, hope to keep playing. If not, start a career. All of that. Maybe move back to Canada. We'll see.
Yeah, and best wishes, best of luck to you in your journey. And, of course, the women's hockey team keeping that national championship standard, those expectations. Again, we wish you guys the best of luck as a group this upcoming year. And don't forget, also, Minot State taking on Lake Superior State. Puck drop 3:45, correct? Both games?
Yep.
Awesome. We'll get a little bit more into that later with the upcoming home games segment. But folks, you just heard Haylie Biever, senior goaltender from the women's hockey team, native of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and a big overtime victory against the defending champion Liberty Flames this past weekend. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back here, folks, you're going to hear from one of the men's golfers who is transferred and now starting his year as a junior from Minot State. He also won one of the fall invites, so be sure to tune in for that. Before we send it to a break here, want to remind you guys again, Papa John's, they are the sponsor of the Inside the Dam podcast. Hit them up on their website. Search for all and any deals that they have going on. Search Papa John's in Minot on your devices. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We thank Admir, as always, for their full support. We're going to hit it to a quick break. Don't go anywhere, folks. You're watching the Inside the Dam podcast. Hello, and welcome back to the Inside the Dam podcast. Thank you for tuning in to this latest edition of the show. The podcast is produced by KMSU TV and Radio as part of a partnership with Minot State University Athletics. We are glad to be joined by more talented and fantastic guests reigning from all the Biever teams on campus. The Inside the Dam podcast is proudly sponsored by Papa John's. They have 2 locations in Minot and the Air Force Base. Search for Papa John's in Minot online through your device and seek out any deals that are currently available. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That is 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We thank Admir and the Papa John's crew for their tremendous patronage. We will be right back with our next guest. And a quick turnaround here, folks. Welcome back to the Inside of the Dam podcast. We just got done talking with Haylie Biever, senior goaltender of the women's hockey team, and getting, again, a nice win against the defending champion Liberty Flames, and being able to hear her story and majoring in criminal justice. And if you miss that part of the show, be sure to tune back in either on the KMSU podcast live stream when it's all said and done, or we'll be posting it on the MSU Beavers channel later as well. But thank all of you for tuning on in to KMSU podcast, the live stream that we have going on here live from the KMSU podcast room. And now, before we get into our next guest, Papa John's, we want to remind you guys all about what they have going on, as they are the premier sponsor for the Inside the Dam podcast. Hit them up on their website. Search for any deals that they have going on. Search Papa John's in Minot on your device. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. And now for our second guest of the night. He's a junior transfer from another Division II college from Arkansas, and actually from Estevan, Saskatchewan native. Here with us from the men's golf team, Chase Gedak joins us. Chase, thanks for being here tonight. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, we're happy to have you on board, Chase. So, golf season, it's actually the fall season's kind of getting under wraps here. And real quickly here, folks, so the golf teams, they play 2 seasons, one in the fall, one in the spring, if I'm not mistaken. So, Chase, your part in the fall season, and you're actually your first semester here at Minot State. Tell us about your transition going from Arkansas to Minot.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great transition. I mean, I didn't have my best golf down in Arkansas, so to come here this fall and play the way I did was kind of a really rewarding feeling, and it was great the way the fall semester went for me.
That is good, certainly. And, I mentioned it earlier, you actually won one of the meets there, the Marauders Fall Invitational, 2 weeks ago. Just kind of walk us through the whole process. How good were you feeling once you woke up that morning, and did it just kind of come naturally, or what were some things or ways that you used to prepare for that one?
Yeah, I played with the guy that was in the lead the final day, so I knew where he was the whole time, and he didn't get off to the greatest start, and I got off to a pretty solid start, so I kind of knew where I was the whole time, and the whole time I just kept trying to get further under par, because I hadn't checked the leaderboard at all, but I knew I probably had a good shot, and I waited till hole 18 to check where I was in the standings, but at that moment I knew I had a few shot lead, so it was just a great feeling walking down the last hole, knowing I kind of had it wrapped up. I just had to make a par on the last, and it was just an awesome feeling to get that first college win.
Very good feeling, huh? Yeah, first college win, actually. Yeah, tell us about that more. Third year in school, and walk us through the moment. How does that feel like?
Yeah, I went down the last hole with my coach, so that was nice to have him there with me too. But yeah, it's been a long 3 years, so a goal of mine this fall was to come in and kind of hopefully get that win, but I kind of just needed to test out the competition, see what it was like. And I had a pretty good start to the fall, so I knew going into that event that I'd have a good chance. So to actually see it come into fruition was awesome.
And you also, believe it or not, tied for second at the USF Invitational last week. So you kept it rolling. You kept that confidence booster rolling. And, talk about, what was that like for you, the recent matchup there in Sioux Falls, and obviously the season getting done, but you guys will be back in the spring soon. Kind of recap, how did you feel from an overall standpoint and, from a team aspect as well?
Yeah, that final tournament in Sioux Falls, it's kind of a bit of a kick in the butt not to win that one, to lose by one shot. I knew that I was really close, and going down the last few holes, my coach was with me again, and I knew I just needed to make a couple more birdies coming in, and I was just burning edges, so it was kind of tough to let that one sink in, not to win. It would have been awesome to finish the year with 2 wins back-to-back individually, but I mean, a first and second place finish to end the fall was pretty solid. And I mean, for the team side of things, we're close. Everybody's game's starting to come around, and I'm really looking forward to see what we can do in the spring together.
That is awesome, to be able to build a camaraderie there early and, talk more about that as, we mentioned earlier, your transition to the Magic City. What was it like getting adjusted to, a new team, a new environment, some new teammates? Who have you liked so far from, or who have you enjoyed the presence with?
I mean, the whole team's great. I mean, I've joked with my friends and family that I feel like a freshman again. I know I'm a junior in college, but getting used to a new university, new faculty, all that stuff, kind of tough and takes some time to get used to, and especially when I'm on the road as much as we are. It's been a bit of a grind this first semester. But, I mean, the whole team's great. Coach is great. I'm really happy here at Minot State on the golf team. Awesome.
And we're happy to have you on board with us and, talking away from the golf course, your first semester here at Minot State, not just golfing, but in the classroom as well. What have you chosen to take upon as a major? What are some things you're learning in the classroom right now?
I'm a management major, so, I mean, one thing that kind of sucked is at my other school I was done accounting. Here I'm back in an accounting class, so that's been a bit of a tough class to adapt to, especially with being gone so much. But, I mean, all my classes are great. The faculty's great. They work with me around my schedule, and it's just been a great transition in the classroom as well.
Awesome. Well, talking more about campus life now, we were asking Haylie, obviously MSU Life bingo especially is a big one upon the students. Have you gotten to catch up with the MSU Life event at all? Do you have any favorites? If you do, what do you think?
I mean, we've probably been here, I think, 8 weeks we've been at school, and we had 6 tournaments already, so I haven't had much of a chance to kind of indulge in the MSU life. But from all I've seen on their social media and stuff, the bingo looks great. And I just started playing intramurals, some volleyball with one of my teammates, so that's nice. Been fun. So, yeah, I'll just look forward in the off-season to doing some intramural stuff, being in the wellness center. That stuff's always fun with your teammates.
Have you guys done well with the intramural volleyball? How's that been going?
We're 2-0, so we'll be on the journey for an undefeated season.
There you go. Well, wishing you the best of luck in that. And, Chase, moving on here. So, with that management major, what are some things that you kind of hope to learn? Are you taking some from some of the things you're learning in the classroom? Because I think I've kind of been doing that a little bit with my grad assistantship. Have you taken some of that stuff from management and applied it to golf? Obviously coaches are leaders, and you got teammates who can act upon as, I guess, leaders, by example, or, just, I can't really say in the locker room, but I guess, when you guys are out golfing on the course, do you apply any of those to your sporting endeavors?
Yeah, just as you said, like as one of the older guys on the team, I try to be a leader, whether that be with my play, with some just kind of encouragement from my other teammates. But yeah, just totally being a leader, taking some of that stuff from the management stuff we're learning is definitely key.
Anything else you'd like to mention to the fans and where they can catch you maybe on campus, or any MSU golf updates? Obviously, you guys, fall season just got done. You'll be back in the spring, but anything else that maybe the fans may want to know about?
I'd just say in the spring, I mean, it means a lot for us when they can maybe follow along, watch the leaderboard, if they can find the leaderboard. If Minot State Athletics posts it, just follow along the leaderboard. I mean, I've had some guys in class say good tournament, stuff like that means a lot to us as golfers. We're not a sport where people can really come and watch us, so just those little comments go a long way for us.
That's always a nice scene to have, that interaction in the classroom. But Chase, thank you so much for being on the Inside the Dam podcast today. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Awesome. And there you have it, folks. You just heard Chase Gedak from the men's golf team, a transfer and native of Estevan, Saskatchewan. He won the Marauders Fall Invitational a couple weeks ago. So be on the lookout for him this spring when the golf team is back in action. Before we take it to our final break here, folks, we'd like to tell you Papa John's is the main sponsor of the Inside the Dam podcast. You can check them out, hit them up on their website, search for any deals they may have going on, search Papa John's in Minot. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. Again, big thanks to Admir and Papa John's for their patronage. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, be on the lookout for one member in particular on the football team who started at quarterback this past weekend. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Inside the Dam podcast. Hello, and welcome back to the Inside the Dam podcast. Thank you for tuning in to this latest edition of the show. The podcast is produced by KMSU TV and Radio as part of a partnership with Minot State University Athletics. We are glad to be joined by more talented and fantastic guests reigning from all the Biever teams on campus. The Inside the Dam podcast is proudly sponsored by Papa John's. They have 2 locations in Minot and the Air Force Base. Search for Papa John's in Minot online through your device and seek out any deals that are currently available. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That is 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We thank Admir and the Papa John's crew for their tremendous patronage. We will be right back with our next guest. Hello, and welcome back to the Inside the Dam podcast. Thank you for tuning in to this latest edition of the show. The podcast is produced by KMSU TV and Radio as part of a partnership with Minot State University Athletics. We are glad to be joined by more talented and fantastic guests reigning from all the Biever teams on campus. The Inside the Dam podcast is proudly sponsored by Papa John's. They have 2 locations in Minot and the Air Force Base. Search for Papa John's in Minot online through your device and seek out any deals that are currently available. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That is 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We thank Admir and the Papa John's crew for their tremendous patronage. We will be right back with our next guest. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Inside the Dam podcast. Again, I am your host, Cole Clementich. We just got done talking with Chase Gedak from the men's golf team. And I didn't want to screw up on the pronunciation, but a junior transfer from Arkansas at Monticello, another NCAA Division II school. But a great chat with him. And yeah, so before we get into our third and final guest here, folks, we'd like to tell you Papa John's and what they have going on, as they are the premier sponsor of the Inside the Dam podcast. Check them out on their website. Search for any deals that they may have going on. Search Papa John's in Minot on your device. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. Big thanks, as always, to Admir and Papa John's for sponsoring the Inside the Dam podcast. If you're just tuning in live on the KMSU podcast live stream, you can feel free to rewind back to Chase Gedak's and Haylie Biever's interviews. Otherwise, we'll be posting a brand new copy on the MSU Beavers channel. Be on the lookout as we post updates on social media. But with all of that being said here, folks, our final guest of the night, as a redshirt freshman from Vancouver, Washington, and a transfer to Minot State football. And he joins us tonight as the starting quarterback, as the current starting quarterback due to injury. Dondrae Fair joins us. Dondrae, thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Dondrae. So as I mentioned, you're taking over right now with the injury to Dawson McCleary. We wish all the best to him in his recovery. But you've taken over the reins for Minot State football. You got the start last weekend in the win, by the way, against Concordia University St. Paul, the Golden Bears. Just talk about this experience so far. Let's chat first. So you're, just like Chase, you're also new to Minot, fairly new, and just really talk about the transition going from FCS Portland State to Division II Minot State.
It's definitely like a different environment, definitely a different atmosphere. Just coming from the West Coast to the Midwest, just like the scenery and it's like the usual daily life is very different, but it's been a good adjustment, just something new, a new experience. So I'm glad I got to see that experience, something different than the West Coast, and still just adjusting here at Minot, just still trying to get to learn everything here and just get to know more people and get more comfortable. So,
and yeah, as you get to know more people in and around, how did Minot come to be? So obviously with the football team this year, a brand new coaching staff, how did Minot State get to be for you? What was the story behind your recruitment, or I guess your transfer story?
Well, yeah, I went to Portland State and hit the transfer portal. I really didn't have any knowledge about Minot State or anything like that. I had a coach reach out to me with great interest, and he kind of caught my eye and just always been just like in communication with him and stuff. So I feel like the coaching staff is great. They got me out here on a visit and stuff. I liked what I seen. I liked the coaches and the energy they brought and just the love they shown. And I feel like they're great coaches and that they care a lot for the game. So that's what just attracted me to Minot State.
That's always a nice aspect for the coaches to have, and taking care of their players. They certainly did it with you and for everyone else, quite frankly. And, talking about that adjustment, getting used to new teammates, new coaches, first impressions of when you got to campus and when you got here to see all the facilities.
I feel like the campus is very nice. It's coming from Portland State. It was kind of like a bigger university, so it was different just changing over here. It was smaller. In the classroom, the classes are smaller, and I feel like I like that a lot because you get to build a relationship with your professor, and you get to get more help compared to at my prior university. Just like 200 people classes, it's kind of hard to just get that connection with your professor, to get that extra help, and just it's easier when the classes are smaller and you're able to communicate with your professor to succeed in class. So I love that a lot about Minot.
Sweet. And question off topic here. Obviously, you came here right as the Damian Lillard trade happened, but do you know of any Portland people that did you message them after it went down, Damian Lillard to the Bucks? What was that kind of going like? Did you message anyone? Did you tell them, "Oh man, I'm sorry for you"? Or do you know any Trailblazers fans in that scenario?
I'm actually pretty cool with Dame myself, and
really?
His brother is actually Houston Lillard is my quarterback trainer, so I'm pretty close with them, and
the more you know.
I'm pretty sure something all of Portland knew was coming soon, but Milwaukee was a big shock, and we're all happy for him though, but hope everything's successful there. But it was a big loss to Portland, but I know some people are upset about that. But man, Scoot Henderson, hopefully he can come in and get the job done.
Yeah, that Portland, they got something cooking. They're going to be building here pretty soon. Obviously, it's going to take a couple years to process, but all those young players, it could gel really nicely into a nice team down in the near future. Obviously, if I'm a fan, obviously I'm a Nuggets guy, I would be afraid to face them in the near future at some point because you never know. They could always jump up here pretty soon. But, so moving on here, I'm a Denver guy, by the way, so I've known them since before the championship. So,
okay.
But moving on here, so talking on the gridiron with Minot State, you led the team to the first win of the season, and this was just your second career start, by the way. And against Concordia St. Paul, as the game was rolling on, it was just kind of sluggish back and forth, and teams kind of struggling to move the ball down the field. But once you guys got in with, I want to say it was 2:50 left in the fourth, kind of what was going through your head at that moment?
Um, 2:50 left on the fourth. I believe we were probably up at that point. I think the other team had the ball, trying to drive the ball down the field to score the game-winning touchdown. And at that point, I was proud of the offense that we were able to get it done. I know it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best gameplay. Wasn't our best, but we did put up a good effort, and I'm glad we was able to get in the end zone and help our defense out. We played a great game and held it down for us. So I trusted my defense the way they were playing that game. They were on a roll. So after we got in the end zone, I was very confident in my defense that they were going to get the stop and get that dub. So my hopes were high after that.
No, and that is a cool scene. And you guys gave Coach Shields his first win. How has he been like for you, and how have you approached him and this new environment, this new coaching staff that is upon Minot State?
I love Coach Shields a lot. He took on a tough role, and I feel like he's very passionate for the game. He came in here, and he knew it wasn't going to be easy, turning a program into something new, something different that they haven't seen before, And I feel like he's been doing a great job trying to just keep everyone together. I know our season isn't going the best, but everybody still shows up every day. Everybody's still locked in and trying to still fight for more wins, and I like that a lot, that the coaches can keep us just in that brotherhood and keep us close and not let things get reckless. Because I know it's not the easiest when things aren't going the best, but I like that a lot about Coach Shields, that he can hold it down and just keep everybody's heads on straight and just keep everybody passionate and motivated for the game.
No, motivation is always a good, key contributor to have. And obviously, in the midst of a tough season, you're taking over as the starter. What are some goals that maybe you have personally, in your first year here at Minot State? Obviously, redshirt freshman, so still some years left to go. But talk about maybe some goals that you have, or maybe some aspirations from a team aspect.
Some goals I have is just to get better as a team individually, and just focus on the positives. Just try to eliminate negative thoughts and just focus on what we can control, and focus on the future moving forward. And I just want to focus on just coming together as a team and just really just like getting together and going out there, being on the same page, and just getting better each game, and just putting up a fight and just putting up 100% effort. So that's what I'm looking forward to this season, the rest of this season. That's my goal, is to get better as a team.
Moving away from the football gridiron, first semester, still, what's the classroom like for you? Pick out your major for us. What have you been learning in the classroom? And tell us your transition to Minot as far as, the textbooks go and all the classwork goes.
Okay. I'm majoring in entrepreneurship and marketing. So it's been pretty well so far. And like I said before, the thing I like a lot in the classroom about Minot is like you have that extra, you can get extra help, and it's easier to get access to your professors and to get access to tutors and stuff, and just it's less chaotic, and it's like because there's less people, and so I love that a lot. And other than that, I just feel like there's just been great people in the classroom, a lot of just good connections outside of class, and good friends and stuff, and there's a lot of people there to help you. So,
have you checked out one of the MSU Life events before?
I have been to one bingo event. They give away some
bingo.
crazy.
There you go.
Yeah,
yep.
They give away some crazy prizes. I was very shocked at what I seen there. But other than that, I haven't been to really much events. Just been busy with the football season so far. So I look forward to getting to some events when I have some free time. But so far, all I've been to is bingo.
Oh, that's awesome. And, for the rest of the way here, talk about, with your entrepreneurship, talk about, some goals that you aspire to have, post-football or post-school. What are some things what do you hope to accomplish, in the classroom on campus grounds with Minot State?
Well, that's what I'm in the process of now, just trying to, put it all together with my major and just put it together, what I want to do in, real life. And just that's what I'm just trying to just experience right now and just explore, what I want to do. But I do know that I do want to be my own boss, and I do plan to, play football for a while, and I do plan to go to the next level and stuff with football. So after that, I do plan to be my own boss and be able to manage my own business.
We wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Dondrae, anything else you'd like to mention for the fans? See you guys have a big home game this upcoming weekend.
Yes, sir. Go Beavs, man. Come catch us Saturday against Duluth.
Awesome. 1 p.m. kickoff time for Minot State football against the University of Minnesota Duluth. You just heard redshirt freshman quarterback Dondrae Fair, as he is in the spot duty role right now, taking over for Dawson McCleary. Again, all this being said, wishing the best to Dawson in his recovery, but Dondrae leading the charge for Minot State football as we speak right now. And we're actually going to take it to one more quick break where we'll be back to wrap up the show. But before we do that, folks, Papa John's is the proud sponsor of the Inside the Dam podcast. They can be found on their website, and they may have any deals online that you could maybe take advantage of. So be on the lookout. Search Papa John's in Minot on your device. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272, and the acronym, that's 852-PAPA, where you can place an order over the phone. We thank Admir and the Papa John's crew for supporting the Inside the Dam podcast. We're going to take one more quick break. I'm your host, Cole Clementich. We'll be back momentarily. Hello, and welcome back to the Inside the Dam podcast. Thank you for tuning in to this latest edition of the show. The podcast is produced by KMSU TV and Radio as part of a partnership with Minot State University Athletics. We are glad to be joined by more talented and fantastic guests reigning from all the Biever teams on campus. The Inside the Dam podcast is proudly sponsored by Papa John's. They have 2 locations in Minot and the Air Force Base. Search for Papa John's in Minot online through your device and seek out any deals that are currently available. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That is 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We thank Admir and the Papa John's crew for their tremendous patronage. We will be right back with our next guest. And welcome back to the Inside the Dam podcast here, folks. I'm your host, Cole Clementich. I'm here to wrap up the show for you guys. Again, we just got done talking with redshirt freshman quarterback from Vancouver, Washington, Dondrae Fair, and talking about him and his story, and really cool that he has some connections with the Lillards. So that is, you learn something new every day here, folks. So, but I was going to mention briefly that Howard Wade, he was thinking about joining tonight, but it was all dependent on his schedule, and so we were kind of waiting to see if he was able to join us, but different circumstances, and so I just kind of left it at an extra segment here tonight, just in case he was able to join, but I think we'll just go ahead and wrap it up here. I apologize, Howard, if he was able to make it, but I just left him a message, and I haven't heard back yet, but there'll be more. Plenty of opportunities in the future. So, but that was just this segment to recap the show and also, kind of give some time. If Howard was able to join us, he was interested, but of course, different schedules, or schedule conflicts, I should say, different circumstances. Wasn't able to make it tonight, but hopefully sometime down the line in the future, he will be back on with us. But, of course, check out him and his work as well. Howard Wade, fellow graduate assistant in communications. He's doing volleyball play-by-play, soccer play-by-play, and color commentary for football as well. So, yeah, doing great work for Minot State University Athletics. Good to be one of his colleagues as well. And, folks, I mentioned it a few times on the show. Some home games to take note of. This is the upcoming home schedule for this week, October 16th through the 22nd. As you can see, a big one off the jump. Senior night already for Minot State women's soccer. It feels like we were just getting started yesterday. It feels like August almost, but time flies when you're having fun. So, women's soccer senior night, 5 p.m. kickoff on the 20th against Winona State. Check out volleyball in action, I believe, Saturday morning, So Friday evening for soccer, Saturday morning for volleyball, as they have another home game this time against the Augustana Vikings. 10 a.m. first serve. Women's soccer back on the pitch on Sunday for a matinee against the Concordia St. Paul Golden Bears. And then Minot State women's hockey, we're getting our first look at Lake Superior State. I actually do not recall if they've ever played them before, but regardless, it'll be a unique matchup, a first-time matchup that we will be seeing or witnessing at the Mesa Arena Pepsi Rink. 3:45 puck drop both Friday and Saturday. And then you heard it from Dondrae Fair, Minot State football against Duluth, 1 p.m. on Saturday. So that should be a fun matchup on the gridiron on the Herb Parker turf. But we'll see how all things play out this weekend. Busy for Minot State University athletics. So be looking forward to all of that, and be sure, fans, to go check out your Beavers in action. And before we send it off here, folks, I actually want to recap. As promised, we had Haylie Biever in the first segment, goaltender from women's hockey. Has 7 career shutouts, played 37 games in goal for Minot State. We also had Chase Gedak, a junior transfer from Arkansas at Monticello, another Division II organization. And he actually won the Marauders Fall invite 2 weeks ago and tied for second in the USF Invitational last week. Golf teams will return back in the spring, and then the NSIC Championship in April. And then lastly, we had Dondrae Fair, redshirt freshman quarterback, taking over for Dawson McCleary this season. Again, we want to wish all the best to quarterback McCleary in his recovery as he is dealing with some upper body ailments. And, of course, he was also a transfer from FCS Portland State, and you just heard it earlier, familiar with some of the members of the Lillard family. So crazy trade that went down, Damian Lillard to the Bucks. So yeah, all that in good fun. But that's going to do it here, folks, for the Inside the Dam podcast. Want to give one last go ahead for our sponsorship as Papa John's. We thank them for all of their patronage to the Inside the Dam podcast. Hit them up on their website, search for any deals. Papa John's in Minot on your device. They can also be reached out at 701-852-7272. And for the acronym, that's 852-PAPA, where you can place an order over the phone. I'm Cole Clementich signing off on behalf of Minot State University Athletics and KMSU TV Radio. That is it for tonight's show. It is getting pretty late. 8:13 actually just changed to 8:14. So thank you guys for tuning in and listening, watching for all of what Minot State Athletics has to offer. This has been the Inside the Dam podcast. We'll be back next week. Until then, you guys have a good rest of your night.